Welcome to Super Smoke Bros Podcast. Four teachers fueling our passion for smoking foods one smoke at a time, discussing step-by-step recipes, successes, failures, and everything else that we fire up. The bros will be interviewing celebrity pitmasters and your everyday backyard barbecue titans. Cheers to a new episode and smoke on, my friends. Welcome back. We're at season 2, episode 9. And I feel like since Saturday for me, and right now, this is like my barbecue dream is coming true here. So with our guests today, and what happened on Saturday too with Instagram. So I'm not going to wait anymore. I'm not going to babble anymore. I'm so excited. I'm talking so fast, but here we go. The Super Smoke Bros are about to dive into the world of Chef Carla Dilorenzo, where the primal art of butchery meets the seductive dance of the open flame. This Argentinian barbecue master and owner of Los Tanitos Meat Market was recognized as a Certified Angus Beef Innovator of the Year finalist and has earned the respect of barbecue heavyweights like Frugoni and Captain Ron. Prepare for a taste of pure, unadulterated passion with Carla's mix of Argentinian and Italian family heritage infused with her culinary mastery. The bros are overwhelmed with excitement to welcome the badass queen of open fire barbecue to the Super Smoke Bros podcast, Pitmaster Carla Dilorenzo. Welcome, Carla.
Hey, what an introduction. I loved it.
Good. I didn't do you bad, so that's good. I'm fired up. I spent some time on that one. So
yeah, second or third draft, huh?
Yeah, probably about the 12th draft, I think. I'm like, no, this is not good. The teacher and me really took control there. So so we Carla, we're just going to start firing away and just I'm so excited to learn about you. I know a lot about your journey, but I know there's so much more I don't know. And so just can't wait to hear it. So yes. I think Colin, you're up with our first question.
Yeah, I'm up. Colin Sheehan, thank you again for being on here. Super excited, and it's awesome to meet you. So we appreciate it. All right, let's dive in. So we all have our story. They're all really different and unique to us with how we got into the barbecue world and got interested in the first place. So we're wondering about kind of your story and what drew you to open fire barbecue specifically, and kind of how you developed your style.
Awesome. So my background is Argentinian. We are kind of born with that in our bloodstream. It's something that's it. It's like it's incredible the passion that we have for what we do when it comes to grilling. So basically, I've lived my entire life. Every Sunday or every Monday, my family would get together, and it was your typical asado, what we call asado in Argentina. You know, you get together, you're grilling all as a family, right? Usually the grillers were either my father or my brother. And all I would do while they were grilling, instead of being inside, doing anything else, I would be right there standing right next to them and checking out their techniques, listening to my father when he would tell me, you only flip the meat once. It was embedded in my head, all of these tips, these tricks, these styles, definitely from my father. He could turn food, a rock into food. So it's incredible, but you go learning. And his background is Italian, and so his survival mode from World War II, migrating to Argentina, and then migrating from Argentina to Miami due to another war, which is the Malvinas in Argentina. So basically, we were always taught what to do with our food, never throw away your food, how to turn it into something else the next day. And, it's be creative, innovate, come up with something someone else isn't doing. And, that's what's been embedded in me. And, when I was about 16, 17, I took off and I just didn't stop. I'm 42 now, so you don't have to do the math. But I've been doing this my whole life, basically.
That's awesome.
I'm curious because you said you're from Argentina, Italian background. I mean, Argentina is such a melting pot, so many cultures going on. I wonder if you talk a little bit about that? Like, how has that influenced you? Like, how would you describe like your flavors and how you work?
It's a huge influence. It's a huge influence for Argentina as well. You know, everyone in Argentina has a whole European descent. So our food and everything comes from what you said, the pool of migrants into Argentina. So it's incredible. It's incredible how, you know, you can grab all of these cultures and turn something into your own, right? You grab what someone else is doing and then you turn it into your own thing. And I feel like all these different cultures open up your mind into being able to create and do something different, not stay on like a one track mind of what you should do, right? I mean, no matter where you go and no matter what you do, you absorb and you learn from where you're at or who you're with.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like it.
Carla, I'm gonna tell you, you started talking about World War II and history, and I'm a history teacher, so I got a little fired up there too, right there. And so now I'm all kinds of, probably won't sleep tonight. But so, Carla, you know, open fire cooking can be so unpredictable. What are some of the biggest challenges you face, and how do you adapt to them in real time?
So biggest challenges I face, I'm a Miami girl. So weather's always great, right? Weather, and if it rains, we're already prepared for it. It doesn't freak us out anymore. But I don't know what cooking in the cold, open fire and freezing temperatures. I do that in Indianapolis in the Frugoni team, and we were freezing. But you know, you have to control your fire and your meat, and the meat was cold, although it was under the coal, you know, over the coals. So it was a challenge. That to me was a huge challenge. And wind, anywhere that's windy, that's another challenge. It sure is. But again, it's up to you to, you know, figure out your techniques and your wood and where to put everything so that your fire keeps going. But it's a challenge.
Yeah. Definitely.
Awesome.
I sent you that picture of that pig I was doing up north in the freezing temperatures. And that was the wind. It was the first time I really had to adapt because of the wind. I was panicking for a long time.
It's insane, right? How it alters everything. Yep. And you have to, on the spot, figure it out.
Yep. That was, I'm not proud of it. We figured it out, and I was trying to figure out all kinds of things. So I feel you on that one.
but it's fun because it gives you a challenge, right? So it gives you a whole other way of cooking. All of a sudden you learn something new.
Yeah, you're right. Spot. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely challenging. And as you talk about the cold and the wind, I keep thinking that Wisconsin might not be the best place for at least year-round open fire cooking. So we might be a little out of luck, except for maybe a couple of months here. So kind of going off of that, are there any other methods of barbecue that you enjoy doing besides open fire?
Oh, actually, open fire is really my thing. I've tried the whole smoking thing. I have to be honest with you. I did it on a pellet grill. I did not do the offset smoking. The only reason I did that is because I didn't know what it was, and I wanted to see what it was, and intrigued me on how perfect everything comes out, right? And so I'm like, wait a second. It's like foolproof in a weird way, right? So it's like I have to see what this is, and I wanted to try something that was out of my element. But at the same time, to me, it's not my everyday meal. We're not, you know, in my family and everything, smoked food isn't our everyday meal. So that's something I would do, you know, for a catering or for something every once in a while, but I wouldn't have it on my, it wouldn't be my, you know, first go-to. Open fire is mine. I mean, I have gone around the world and cooked on different equipments, right? Like the Big Green Egg, you know, I've cooked on Napoleon, I've cooked on gas, I've cooked on, you know, anything that I have to cook on. You know, we don't get to be picky when we're contracted for something and you need to execute the job they give you, and, you know, you need to figure it out. So, I mean, I'm also not, you know, picky or headset on, okay, open fire is all I'm going to cook, because that's, you know, I'm open to any style of cooking.
Awesome.
I guess just off the top of my head, what's your favorite open fire recipe?
Ooh, recipe. Oh, someone else's or my own?
Your own for sure.
Okay. My favorite and my favorite cut and my favorite style is la estaca, which is el asador. And I absolutely love whole, anything whole, right? So like a whole picanha, a whole ribeye, a whole short ribs. So my favorite would have to be anything with short ribs. Maybe something different that I did, and it was a chuck flap ceviche. That was like mind blowing to everyone, that it was actually like a beef ceviche instead of a, fish or seafood ceviche. I actually made it with open fire.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The only reason I ask is because my goal is to make the favorite dish out of all of our interviews right now.
Oh, that's
So
Oh,
I'm
nice.
starting a
There you
list.
go.
So
Yeah.
And I don't believe in keeping secrets or anything like that. I have the recipe, so if you're willing to do it, I'll shoot it right at you, and it's delicious.
Oh, I bet.
I think I trust you.
Yeah, we'll have to try it out.
So Carla, I'll go with the next question here. It's what is the one thing that amateur pitmasters don't see on your social media or videos when it comes to barbecue or open fire?
What don't they see? Let's see. This question is
Kind of behind the scenes stuff.
like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Okay, so so my personality is very like quirky, and I like to make people laugh. And I don't think you get that from me until you meet me. Right. So
yeah,
a lot of people think I'm serious, or I always tell them, I'm like, no, if I'm in the middle of grilling and I have to execute something and I have to be on top of it, I probably have a serious face because I'm working, right? So I'm very focused, and I'm trying to make sure that whatever I'm doing comes out perfect. But at the end, like when I hang out with my teams, with my teammates, with anyone that I am grilling with, we always have a blast. So that's like probably my number one thing, that unless you hang out with me while we're cooking, you wouldn't know that from me.
I kind of saw that. Like I was watching a bunch of your videos the past couple of days, and then the one with Captain Ron where you just did recently, where you just also in the beginning you just pushed brimstone. I'm like, oh, there she goes, awesome. Yeah, I can see that side in you right there.
Exactly. Did, so. See, and I love being able to show that side of me, but sometimes it's very on a professional level, and you can't. And so that's where I'm like a little like suppressed, I guess you call it. Like, no, I want to be me. So when I get to be me, it's the best feeling ever.
Yeah, that's how I feel at work too.
All serious all the time in the classrooms.
Yeah, let's see, and I'll have one more here for you. Who are some of the pit masters that you follow, and why do you follow them?
Ooh, well, Jessie Prowse was one of my top female pit masters that I have always idolized until I finally met her at the open fire meet. And Seattle's butcher wife, Misty.
Yes.
Always for years following her. And when I finally got to meet her, it was like meeting my sister. I mean, we just like, it's incredible. Her personality, everything about her, her knowledge, she's guided me. She's helped me. She's introduced me to many people. I'm, like I said, I'm not new to what I do, but I am new to this community. Right. So, which Al brought me into this community. Right. So he's always seen what I've done for many, many years. And so when all of this started going, he's like, Carla, but you have to come, and Carla, you have to do this, and you have to, like get a little more like active in this sense. And so I was like, with me, you can count 100%. So definitely Seattle Butcher's wife. Another one is Girl Grill Robin. She's helped me out as well in guiding me. She's actually helped me out with social media and teaching me, Carla, this is how you make a reel. So it's so funny how, again, you go meeting everyone, and it's just incredible the amazing people there is out there, right? Incredible how many, I mean, basically I've lived through every one of them through their Instagram, right? So that's how I feel I've gotten to, when I meet them, I feel like I already know them, you know? So, and we hit it off because, again, we have the same interests. So when you have all of that, it doesn't become a teammate anymore. It really becomes a friend.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt with everyone I've named. Now, when it comes to men, obviously you have Captain Ron, you have Mel, you have Tone, you have Mike from Blazing Star, you have, I mean, anyone that I mean, I can go on and on and on of everything and how inspiring they are and how dedicated, professional, and you know, and they always have me in present. And so that, you know, that really fills me up to know that they also feel this way. And so it's a mutual feeling and bond we all have. And I mean, again, I've been following for years, so when I finally got to meet everyone, it was a dream come true for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just want to kind of say that we kind of feel the same way. When we first started doing this, I had no idea what to expect. Talking to all these big names in barbecue, I was like, oh, what's it going to be like? How are they going to be? And every single person we've talked to has been just like great, and I've really enjoyed all of them. And it's kind of the same what you've been saying. Like, everybody's been so awesome to work with.
Exactly.
And it's definitely a good community to be a part of. So
definitely.
All right, I'm back. Sorry for the interruption there. Definitely not earning my social media badge tonight. But I am curious, just because I don't know, I just love mesquite. I'm stuck on mesquite. I just can't go away from it. What type of wood do you prefer to use? Why? And how do you select your wood for your meats? Is there rules for
so no, I grew up on oak, lump charcoal. We call it carbón de leña, which is our charcoal, which is made out of lump wood. Basically what I would get at one point, now we start seeing a lot more wood coming to Miami, right? In Miami, this whole open fire thing is not that big, right? It's not, it is and it isn't. So it's kind of crazy. But we all depend, wherever we are, we all depend on distributors. We all depend on where can we get our logs. And basically I have a distributor, since I own a meat market and a butcher shop, I have my set distributors with their charcoal. And, you know, and I tend to go more towards, you know, everybody brings me samples to the store, and I never not try a sample. Out of everything I ever try, I put on my shelf what I feel was the best. Why? The heat, you know, anything a customer wants, right? But when it comes to flavors in the wood, like mesquite, or I'm not generally used to it, but I come to find out that I actually like mesquite when it comes to my short ribs.
Okay.
It maintains a really, really high heat where I can put my short ribs bone against the heat, and it's incredible. I actually I think it's great. I think and the flavor in it. And I actually used them this past weekend in the Sobe event we had to do, and it's a different burn. It's a higher, different burn. And here's the thing: it was pure wind at Sobe, so mesquite was the way to go when it came to the wind.
Okay.
So I feel like depending what situation you're in or what you're cooking is which would you pick.
So you're saying it could be like a game day decision. I mean, depending on what the weather's like, even.
But I always carry 2-3 different types.
Oh,
Be prepared.
that's a good tip.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
All right. So you talked a little bit about your upbringing in this, you know, your seeing your dad and your brother cook. So how do you try to balance what you learned growing up and kind of the traditions, and along with like new innovations? And are there any kind of traditional techniques that you've modernized or tweaked a little bit to kind of your style?
Absolutely. Again, we get our base, right? And then with our base, then you start to like branch out, right? And then you start to want to do it this way and do it that way. And that's where you either do a great job and have an excellent meal, or there goes that piece of meat or whatever you were cooking because you destroyed it, right? Now, do I think destroying things is bad? No, on the contrary. That's how you learn. And next time, no, don't do it that way. stick to the other way you were doing it, right? So, but never give up, right? If you want to try another one, try another technique. I feel like my parents being from the time they were, let's say from their age, my father being 86, imagine, they stuck to very, very traditional techniques, very close-minded, this is how it has to be because this is what we were taught. And I didn't think that way. I was more of, no, that's not the only way you can do it. And I would always try to find a different way. And same with recipes. It's like, okay, there's a base of a recipe, right? But that doesn't mean you have to do exactly as the recipe says. If you feel that this should be different, or you don't like this ingredient, you're going to replace it for that ingredient. That's what food and that's what like life is about, right? It's like, do your own thing, do what you want. And I feel like those are the best recipes when you're doing what you like, not what somebody's telling you to do, right? So it makes a huge difference when you cook at home and when you cook for content than when you're actually executing an event or a catering or a private dinner. So and it's crazy because people, when it comes to catering, people don't even know you already did that, but I do. So then for the next person, I don't want to do the same thing, although for them it would be new, right? But it challenges me to come up with a different menu. It challenges me to think outside, and come up with something new. So that's kind of another reason why Certified Angus Beef kind of saw me as an innovator in this case, because I didn't stop from, I actually don't stop. I love coming up with new stuff. Love it.
That's awesome.
So I mean, I think I answered your question, although I kind of went, okay.
Oh, awesome. Love that. Love it.
Do you have a memorable or challenging barbecue experience? One that sticks out in your head and, maybe something you learned from it?
Okay. When I was casted and competed in Food Network's Firemaster, I think it was about 4 years ago. So if you take me 4 years ago and you take me today, I think I would have rocked it out and made it past second round, right? But it was so intimidating. Like, it was the first time I had ever been around so many cameras, so many people yelling, so many a production, basically. I didn't know what that was. I just knew I could cook. But in this case, the cameras were all at me, and I was actually like shaking of how nervous I was. And although I knew what I was doing and I knew I was doing it good, that it was so nerve-wracking that I still to this day look back and wonder why it was so nerve-wracking. But that was the most challenging thing to do, is cook in front of so many cameras and with a timer and so many people looking at you and knowing this is going to air and everyone's going to see this. That was very challenging to me. To me, that was, I don't know, it's just different, totally different than what I'm used to.
Yeah. Oh, I can't imagine. That sounds intimidating.
Yeah, it does.
It was.
No, Carla, our next question, being a father of, we're all fathers here of daughters, and I have 3 daughters. And so, my middle daughter is my barbecue sidekick, and she's in the background listening. She's not here. She's at a play practice right now. But
Okay.
Did you ever imagine that your barbecue journey would inspire so many female and male people along the way? And what does that mean to you?
It's incredible. It's such a feeling, right? It's to hear anyone come up to me and tell me that, right? They'll come up to me and be like, you've inspired me to open my own business. You've inspired me to, you know, start my own catering. You've inspired me to start videos and, you know, share my experiences, and to hear all of that. I, you know, at night, you know, when you're centered, right, and you don't have anything to think about, I sit and I'm just like, wow, did that just happen? Or wow, I did that. And it's as filling as when someone tells you, wow, this came out really good, right? It's that feeling you feel that you did it right. You did something right. You're doing something right. And it gives you that umph to keep doing what you're doing, because you get that sort of motivation, because you know, they give it to you. It's seriously that feeling where you're just so content from knowing that what you do matters, and that someone else can see it and cherish it.
That's so awesome. My daughter Zara, she, like everyone that we interview, she watches and does the research with me, and she's inspired. And she's like, we were doing some research on you and watched some older videos and stuff like that the other day, and she's like, we got to get an open fire pit. I'm like, yes, we do.
Yes,
and stuff.
yes.
So I want to cook like her dad. And I'm like, okay,
oh my
let's
God,
get it. So
thank you for sharing that with me, because that's really, you know, I keep that in my heart. Any of those comments, I mean, I'm telling you, it really makes what we do so much easier.
Yeah, so you have a big influence, so that's awesome. Thank you.
No, I can't even believe that I'm hearing this, right? Because again, I'm not big on social media. I'm not, so, you know, I guess I don't hear it all the time. So when I hear it, I'm just so happy.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And my daughter's 4, so she's not quite up to following anyone on social media or anything like that, but she still wants to come out, and she's like, oh, Dad, can I help you set up the smoker, or can I help you grill and stuff? And sometimes I have to say no because she's 4, but it
no, but that's when it starts.
But yeah, that's when it starts, and she can do it. And I give her little tasks to do and stuff, and she tells me I didn't put the wood on right or something like that. And she tells me how to do it. Like, oh,
as well as they sell like kids knives for kids, right? And so she can help you prep and, you know, stuff like that. And I feel like it's great that exists, because it didn't exist when I was a kid. So, you know, like there's so many things we can do now with our kids that, you know, and I feel like this whole open fire or barbecuing or everything, at least they're not on an iPad, at least they're not on a TV. They're, you know, they're next to us, they're absorbing what we're doing. And I think that's another thing that makes us happy, right? When they're actually interested in what we do.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Definitely.
All right. Our next question. We talked a lot about barbecue, but what is one thing that you like to prepare that may not be associated with barbecue?
Oh, well, see, I do all the prepare stuff at the restaurant, and anything. I mean, I just put music on, and anything that I have to cook it just makes, as long as I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking, I'm happy. So it doesn't really matter what it is, right? So open fire is my passion. It's where I'm most happiest. And I love cooking open fire. That's my everything. But I absolutely love the kitchen. So whether it's baking, whether it's frying, whether it's grilling, or, you know, all the sauces that I make 25 different style empanadas at my restaurant. So there's the other innovative part of me. And, you know, I like everything, anything that's culinary.
I saw one video, you made these chorizo boats, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need those. This is what I need. Those look so good. So good.
It is a crowd favorite, actually.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right. So when you're not cooking, when you're not over the open fire in the kitchen, what do you like doing?
I am a mom, and I have a 9-year-old. So I work all day, and I don't have weekends off. I have Mondays off and sometimes Tuesdays. So those days I dedicate it, you know, my home, putting everything up to par, and my child. So like I always say, I work all day, but at the end of the day, I'm a mother. I have a home. I'm a human, right? And like everyone, so I have to get everything ready because since I am a business owner, I'm in there every day, all day, basically. Like I try to extract myself at times, and it's impossible. It's impossible. So moments like these, see, I get to be with you guys right now, or doing house duties and being a mom. That's what I love to do.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we all can relate to that too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, Carla, that kind of ends our questions here. And what we like to do at the end, we call kind of the sizzle round, and where we just go and, whatever comes to your mind first. And the answer can be as long as you want, as short as you want. It's completely your world and whatever you like. But just some different things that ordinary, like, amateur smokers like ourselves, I always kind of wonder about, legends like you and what your preferences are. So we call it the sizzle round. And I believe Colin, you're up first, my man.
All right, ready?
Yes.
All right. Favorite cut of meat to barbecue?
Short ribs.
Favorite rub or seasoning?
My rub and salt.
Favorite side to prepare?
Ooh. Sides. On the grill?
Whatever you like.
Ooh. See, because when it comes to sides, I think a very, very good thing, Italian. I can't remember what we call it in English. I'm trying to think about it right now.
¿Cómo se dice en español?
It's fennel. Do you guys know what fennel is?
Yes. Yep.
So I like to either grill or boil my fennel, and then it goes into, again, if it's open fire, it goes on with a little bit of butter and Parmesan cheese. And I like that, melted in there, au gratin. And I like that as a side because it's just super soft and cheesy, and I love cheese.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Talking to the right guys from Wisconsin.
Yep.
It's my favorite on everything.
Yeah. All right. Favorite dessert? It could be using the pit or not using the pit.
Tiramisu.
Awesome.
No, I can't do that on open fire or a pit. I'm terrible. When it comes to me, I rather try everyone else's desserts. I'm a disaster. No, it is not my thing.
Preferred smoker or grill?
Tagwood. Well, I just named a brand. I'm sorry. Santa Maria.
Okay.
So that's definitely my Santa Maria or Asador, which is, the how do I say this? How do you say it in English? El Asador.
Is that a grill?
It's it's the one that you grill with the wood, but it's not on a grill. It's like a.
Yes, I know it.
How
what's
do I
that called?
explain that one in English?
No, I know exactly what you mean.
Asador or estaca is how I know it, and that's basically something you can cook on the street with. You don't need an actual grill. It's just you can put fire on the street, put your meat on this, and you're good to go. So I think that's a really cool style of cooking. So those two are my favorite. Basically, anywhere there's fire, I'm really okay. Like I said earlier, cooking on anything. But if I have to pick a grill, it is my Tagwood. It's beautiful, and it's the one we usually use in competitions and everything. So it's my baby.
No, I was looking at Tagwoods. Those are nice. I'm like, oh, the Santa Maria one, like you talked about. It's awesome.
Definitely my style.
So I don't know if you'll have an answer for this one, Carla, but do you have a preferred temperature you like to cook at? I don't know if it's with the open pit. It might be too hard.
The way I was taught, the way I figured out, I don't use thermometers when it comes to checking my meat. So when it comes to temperatures, I'm also a disaster. They always ask me, especially Ron in the YouTube video, you were telling me but how do you know? And it's like, but I just know. And it's like an experience thing, and it's a fire controlling, it's not, it's kind of like how when you learn how to ride bicycle, you can't forget. So that's how I feel about that. Like, again, I've messed up so much that I kind of try not to do that anymore. But yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Awesome. Good answer.
Awesome. Preferred wood to cook with?
Oak, for sure.
Preferred pitmaster to work with?
I have so many, but I have to say that the one professional friend, anything I can ask for is Al Frugoni, for sure. For sure, he's the one I've also cooked and grilled the most with, right? So it's who I know the most in this community.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone I have ever cooked with has been amazing. So it's like I don't want to, just leave everyone else behind, because everyone has their credit in my journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Your favorite streaming station, radio station, music to listen to while you barbecue on the open pit?
So I have two different worlds, right? I have my little Latina side that loves my reggaeton and my Bad Bunny, and it hypes me up. And then I have my American rock and roll, and just hearing, everything from when I was a kid and inspiring me. And sometimes I'm even grilling and I can't believe that I'm grilling to what I used to hear as a child, right? So it's fascinating. I have no specific genre of music that I'm just like all about. I really enjoy music.
Nice. Awesome. And then last question of the sizzle round: favorite beverage to hold while cooking, barbecuing?
Okay, so I'm not really big into alcohol, especially when I'm cooking, because I like to be focused. I like to be, I don't want any variables. I don't want to forget something. I don't. So in all reality, I'm not gonna lie, and everybody knows me for this. I drink Coke. It's refreshing. It helps, the sugar in there doesn't help my blood pressure go down because of the heat of the grill. I'm not the eat while I grill type, so at least the Coke keeps me, up and going, and it doesn't let me like faint in the middle of cooking. But in ideal world, let's say I'm cooking at home now, right? I'm cooking at home. I love, it's a drink from Argentina. It's called Livenza or Gancia. It's kind of like a martini rossi. And you mix that up with some spray and you put sugar on the rim of your cup. And that is the most refreshing, amazing drink to have while barbecuing.
Ooh, I'm gonna try that. Petey, can you make that one for us?
I'll give it a whirl.
Oh yeah, just try it. Really, really good.
Oh, so Carla, to interview, I'm sure all your fans for sure, and maybe the 20 fans we have here on the Super Smoke Bros. Would you like to share anything else, or maybe what you have coming up next, or anything on the rise, or what's happening in your world coming up?
All right, so I have a couple of things coming up. As a matter of fact, I have a competition the 7th of March. I'm competing it's a huge competition at the zoo, where you compete with about 50 other restaurants. And so, you compete for the title, and I am taking open fire. I've taken it the past 3 years, but I've done their VIP section, and this year I said I want to compete. So we're gonna try to bring that one home. And actually, David Shade is coming from Phoenix, Arizona, to help me with that. Super excited about that.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, see, that's another fun person to grill with. He's amazing. I have with Al, I have the Smoke Slam coming up. I have the World Food Championships. I won that golden ticket last year in the open fire meetup. Which, speaking of which, I'm very proud for that, because I had my top, barbecue legends trying my food, and winning first place was just like, wow, Like,
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So I have that, and I'm also a brand ambassador for Certified Angus Beef. So when it comes to Latin America, I am their, like, I guess, the face of Latin America, because I can speak about the brand in Spanish. So I'm very, very happy. They're taking me to launch they're taking me to do an open fire and launch the whole beef industry in Honduras. So I love breaking those barriers, right? Going around the world, not just the United States, doing what I love. I was able to go on cook on the Norwegian cruise line on a cruise to Alaska. Nice. I did a demo on how to make empanadas, and I cooked 3 nights at the steakhouse, open fire, on a cruise. Right? How cool is that?
Yeah, that is awesome.
Right. So I mean, I've done a lot of, let's say, memorable and really cool things. I've gone to Medellin to teach workshops, to teach them how we do our open fire style. We all, every country, every nationality has their own style. That's another thing that I love about traveling. I get to pick up all these different styles, and again, you have this pool of styles, and you get to do whatever you want with them. I mean, the whole objective of what we do is to share it with the world, and hope someone grasps it and even does it better than you. So I mean, I'm so fortunate to travel doing what I love, whether it's here or anywhere. And I mean, it's like I don't know, I consider myself very lucky, right? I work really hard when it comes to like real life, right? So what do I mean by real life? I don't have a social presence. I wish I did, and I wish I had the time. I'm going to try to do that, because I'm getting reprimanded by everyone. Carla, you have to put what you do on, and I'm like, I know, but I'm kind of like, I'm trying to maintain a restaurant, a butcher shop, and travel and do what I love, all at the same time. So
and be a mom.
And a mom.
So
yeah.
It's really, really hard, but I try not to say no to anything that comes my way. That's for sure. I'm always open to help. I'm always open to, teach anything that comes, like I said, I'm always welcome. Anybody who wants to pick my brain. I love that. I love helping everyone. And again, my restaurant and my meat market is based on that, right? So like for example, if I tell anyone, hey, you can come and see me and ask me, and you're more than welcome to come to my shop and ask me all the questions, and I can even teach you whatever you want. I mean, that's what I love, aside from cooking, and is being able to transmit that, is being able to, anyone. And that's another thing I always tell everyone is don't fear things. Don't fear, oh, I'm going to mess this up. Don't fear, oh, this meat is too big. How am I going to cook that? Like, no, they're the challenges, and it's those things that keep you going and wanting more, right? So yeah, I'm very fortunate, again, to be part of the community that I am, to do what I do, and love. Very fortunate that my job is something that I love, right? I don't consider it a job. It's what I love. So I mean, I feel like it all intertwines, and it all, comes together, and took me and my journey this far.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah. Carla, you've been phenomenal.
Thank you.
Like, honestly, we're so very, very thankful for you.
Yes.
And likewise.
Everyone, Brian, who was on here before, in our school, we kind of have where the kids call me the Walmart greeter, where I say good morning to them, and Brian's out there too. And after we talked to Al Frugoni, we're like, we have to get her on. We have to. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, Z, you gotta contact her. I'm like, oh boy, I don't know if she'll get back to me, but I'm gonna go after it. And then everything that's everyone ever said, from Misty too. You brought up Misty. We interviewed her last year. She is so awesome. And she talked about you, and you are phenomenal and greater than advertised. It was just phenomenal to have you on.
Thank you.
And
I want to make sure I answered all of your questions. If you guys have anything.
No,
anything
you did.
Anything that's not on the list.
Yeah.
No,
you did.
Next time vamos a hablar en español la próxima vez.
Vamos.
There's our Spanish teacher.
That is awesome. That's
Yeah.
you teach Spanish?
Yep.
How cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Congratulations. That must be super hard.
I love it. I'm going to be looking for your interviews in Spanish from
Yeah.
America. There.
Very, very cool. See, we have to do this interview in Spanish now.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we can.
Yes.
I won't help, but we can. I'll get it going.
Oh, I would love that. See, you should get Al as well. Get ready.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that would be fun. We could do that. We could definitely get that set up.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Super cool, guys. And it was a pleasure meeting you. Well, meeting you, right? Hopefully we see each other. And we will, because this is beauty of our journey, is we all end up being together at some point.
Yeah, definitely. That's yeah. Well, we'll talk about that when we end our episode here today. But Carla, we always we always like to end our interviews with our celebrities like you. Say we kind of always, our tagline is smoke on. So if you wouldn't mind ending our interview today with simple Super Smoke Bros, smoke on.
All right. Well, thank you again, Super Smoke Bros, and smoke on.
All right, I loved it. That's awesome.